Well, as most people deal with allergies, they can attest it is peak ragweed season for our area. You say you know this all too well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, the Houston Health Department's pollen and mold counting station on some recent days reported ragweed pollen levels considered extremely heavy. You could be your own indicator.
I can feel it. I know that it's heavy. Yeah. So what's more is that many of the health department's recent reports also include heavy levels of tree pollen and mold spores. So we're getting attacked from all sides. Plus the mix many days even had medium levels of grass pollen. So like I said, lots of allergens very high in the air right now. Joining us to provide advice on how allergy sufferers can fare better is Dr. David Purse, Chief Medical Officer for the City of Houston. Good morning, Dr. Purse.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So for people who don't understand this or maybe don't even realize that they're allergic to ragweed, what would they experience this time of year?
Yeah, so this time of year, it usually begins in August, peaks in September, October, so we're right in the peak of it now. But ragweed sufferers, it's mostly nasal, so nasal congestion, runny nose, sneezing, but also a severely itchy throat, headaches, and irritated eyes. And these are all the direct effects, from the pollen where it, gets into your body. But a lot of it is also how your body responds to it with the release of histamine. And so you're going to hear a lot about histamine in the, the medications and such. And this is just your body's reaction to what it sees as a foreign invader, as the ragweed pollen.
Yeah. So how can an allergy sufferer control or lessen these symptoms?
Yeah, so there are really a number of things that people can do to help protect themselves. It's important that they understand that to monitor the pollen counts, like you were just reporting, right? And so if you know that it's an especially high pollen day, you need to minimize your time outdoors. Maybe spend it, early morning or midday when the pollen counts are at their highest would be like the worst time to be out. You can wear sunglasses to protect your eyes. When you go back indoors, you can try changing your clothing because that pollen gets on your clothes, and if you continue to wear those same clothes during the day, it will continue to, come off and impact you again. You might want to consider showering your hair, which I know we don't want to be doing multiple times a day, but it gets in your hair. And then, the other thing is you can ask your family members to tackle some of those outdoor projects. The other things you do at the house, you can keep the windows closed, use your air conditioning, keep the windows rolled up while you're driving. And then here's one that people don't often think about, that ragweed will get on your pets too. So if your pets are outside for a long period of time and then they come back in, they start shaking their fur, they're going to be releasing those spores inside the house again. So there are a number of things you can do to minimize it. Not necessarily easy though, but there are things you can do.
I mean, yeah, all good things to remind people of. I'm listening to you list off these things and I'm realizing I did everything wrong this weekend because the weather was nice. I wanted to get outside. My whole family did. My pets did. So now I realize it's attacking me from within my own home. Now, the medications that we're supposed to take, you mentioned antihistamines. I mean, do we look at like a combination of those? Do we need daily medication? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're dealing with the right problem, all right? And so we always recommend folks check with their doctor. There are tests they can do to make sure that you know exactly which, allergen that you're dealing with to make sure that it's an allergy. Beyond that, there are over-the-counter medications available at any pharmacy for allergies, and very often they will work pretty good with people. If you need even more help, there are medications that your doctor can prescribe. There are some shots that the doctors can, provide you every several weeks that will help. But the number one thing is make sure you know what you're dealing with. I would try the over-the-counter medications first. If that doesn't work, go back to your doctor and see what other advanced therapies are available to you.
Yeah, I saw an allergist. I did the whole allergy test, thought I needed a prescription strength something, and really he just gave me a combination of over-the-counter things because he looked at my skin test and went, whoa, fall must be bad for you. I was, blowing up from all the weeds that they're testing me for. So by the way, how can people get that information to know what pollen is high when? It's on your website, right?
Yeah, so it's on our city's website, and we also, we report it on weekdays, usually between 9 and 10 in the morning. You can either go to houstonhealth.org or you can call 713-247-5846, and there is a recording that will update and tell you what the current levels are. And they're going to either be considered to be low, medium, heavy, or extremely heavy. And in addition, we report for different types of mold because, as you point out, some people may have a problem with a particular mold and not others. And so, or a different pollen, for example, than others. And so we kind of list those out separately. So if you know which one is your problem allergen, then you're going to get a report specific to that.
Yeah, I didn't know that phone number, so thank you so much. I will compliment the city that they do update those pollen counts really regularly, so that's what I use for my reporting too.
Thank you.
Dr. Purse, Chief Medical Officer for the City of Houston, thanks for joining us this morning.